Hello, I hope you're doing well. So, I wanted to, I know this is not the best camera, nor probably the best settings, but usually I don't get to have the best timing to try to make a recording. So, I wanted to use this opportunity that I have to make this recording. So, I know this video, as you might see the title, it might be the most intriguing and most interesting subject. Amazing enough, something that as called sex that seems like it supersedes even our need for nutrition or oxygen. We're just so immediately so gravitated towards it. Um, I've been watching some videos of this lady. She's a psychologist, especially relationship counselor. Her name is Azita Sayan. She's an Iranian doctor, Persian, and I find most of the content kind of in line with my own logic, um, and I really wanted to share her basically her views, kind of you know I guess building on my own ideas, trying to also incorporate what I learned from her videos. Um, Perhaps maybe I can create a better sense for people, men and women, whoever gets to watch my video to have a better sense. Um, she had some videos about sex, that is, and when primarily it would be appropriate for a couple to get engaged in sex. Um, so you probably heard of, I guess you often hear this thing say, fuck her brains out. And when I watch her video, it kind of gave me um, a more substantiable sense of what that word really means. I had a sense before that, like, really just like, because it's a reality, like, I think matter by instinct, like, we know that if we have sex with a girl, her mindset would be very skewed and she just loses her logic. She wouldn't be able to think properly. Now, this might not be was accurate. I guess obviously prostitutes don't feel that way too much. um, but she was saying something that was very interesting, um, about how her belief is that you have to give it a nice couple of well, she said that she believes like minimum 3 months, but then again she also said that it's not really a time matter. However, she thinks minimum 3 months is a good timing to wait before having sex with somebody who, as a you know that you would be, as a woman, you would be interested to have a long-term relationship, or potentially marriage with. And what she stated was that basically, in that but what happens is that when you have sex with a man, the woman hormone, that is oxytocin, if I'm pronouncing it correctly in English, what happens is that it basically um, starts affecting the logical aspect of a woman's senses, if you will. That is, she was saying that even if that guy is a bad person, like he could be like an asshole, he could be a jerk, he could be even violent, he could be even like abusive, he could be like he doesn't have any shit together. That is, he's not even looking for a long-term relationship, or he could be looking for a long-term relationship, but he's looking not for a partner, rather some slave in her his life maybe, or you know what I'm saying, those stereotype relationships that perhaps um, our parents have experienced, or our grandparents, I don't know. And to them, that's a familiar sense. Not all of them, but oftentimes that was the story. When I was growing up in Iran, I remember not only my mom, but even like our neighbor woman, we were all in an abusive relationship, and that was hurtful, but it was not something that they could exit out. Um, it was okay for men to be abusive, and um, better said, regardless of that being okay or not, the woman didn't have a way out. It was not acceptable to just walk out of marriage. It was just that just concept didn't exist. Very unfortunate. Anyways, getting back to things, so she was saying that when a woman has immediately a sexual relationship with a man, even though that person might be a bad person, she starts trying to see everything from the window of the fact that no, he's not bad, trying to basically justify all his behavior, actually blame herself even if there's any shortcomings, basically trying to by any means acquit him from anything, trying to portray this ideal man out of this person that might be by nothing even close to that. And she was saying that basically, in that when that happens, you don't get to have the opportunity to trying to explore this person as far as, is he, really his actions are aligned with what he speaks of, basically, to begin with. Is he emotionally available? Is he, what she really talked about as far as um, separating two concepts. That is, one, having sex, two, making love. That is, you're really feeling some kind of a emotional connection with somebody, versus like purely just having some kind of instinctual, excuse me, like a instinctual, exactly, thing that we were by nature we're programmed to do, and we drive pleasure from it. That was really interesting what she said, and I think I wish women in particular, they would pay more attention to that, because I think our mindsets as a man and woman, the way our brains work, is that we like to take things in extreme. And we might, my experience in America has been with women is that, unfortunately, like, especially like, how do I say it? This is where it gets tricky, because because you see, I think often men are actually very well aware of this kind of a mechanism in a woman's mind, and they know that if they actually give her a chance, like they want to be slow and try to give her a chance, because with the way that the modern society especially establishes the ideals, or the ideal men in the eyes of a woman, and all the trainings that they put on her to try to basically get her hypergamy, if that you call it, basically trying to look for the best man possible. If you don't try to manipulate a girl, there's a good chance that she's gonna feel like she can see the whole scope, and she's gonna feel like, you know what, no, this guy is not really ideal man for me. Whereas you might be the ideal man, because by her stance as ideal is really not you as a person, as your character, as your instinct or who you are as a person, as your behavior pattern, as your how kind, how affectionate you are. No, really, as far as your material side, or maybe as your how much you can provide for her, your maybe education, your where you're standing in life, your circle of friends. I don't know, really, actually, I guess better said, really your financial worth. That might be best measure because everything really falls into that in the eyes of a modern society. So I think, um, and I say that because I'm not that kind of person, and I like to have a logical um, courtship with females, and I think often that gives them a chance to really very well try to weigh everything out and realize that no, you know what, he doesn't seem like that good guy. Whereas I haven't seen often there are men out there who not only they're not financially successful, but they don't even look necessarily attractive, and neither they are even good people, like good person by character. They're actually very abusive and nasty, and they get to have a very not only they get to have another woman in their lives, but actually have a very by measure of a man, a very attractive woman who actually might be a very actually she might be actually a nice person, a good person. So I'm trying to take this to the next level here, in my mind at least, is that I really this is like a plea to men, to women, that don't take things to extreme. There's nothing wrong with trying to um, hold this leverage and trying to weigh out that individual and try to measure him, if you will, but don't um, take this to extreme that you want to give it too much of a reservation, or rather make that person feel inferior, or make him, like Billy said, make him feel like shit, or feeling like they basically they owe it to you, or rather basically said not realizing that if a man this is really what I want to say, is that if a man is willing to talk to you and sit down, and instead of trying to play that basically how do you say that smart boy, or I guess that witty boy or bad boy, really alpha male character, to just literally try to close a deal with you, I want to say uh, try to value that as really as a good gesture, that that person is a nice person, is that is he could be potentially a good person, a good match for you. Because I'm not gonna deny it, of course there are a lot of men who are rich and they're out there, but let's be also realistic. um, Number one, do those men just go after any random girl too? I mean, if they were to look at things from that mindset, literally, if they were looking things as simply as the matter of, oh, that girl looks like a nice girl, hey, let me go talk to her. Do you think if that man to begin with didn't have that kind of a mathematical or an analytical and financial um, mindset, would you think he would get where he is? So of course, if anything, he would be also looking at a woman who is also like totally his his size, and perhaps there's some benefit for him and him. And what I'm really trying to say is that, except those few, anyways, there's really no perfect. Nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. The man is not gonna be perfect. I think what is perfect is that the fact that you're in a relationship where you have time to try to explore things, um, mentally and I guess sexually, I guess, or better said, romantically and sexually, and at the same time, or I guess three aspects of it. mentally, romantically, and sexually. That is my take. I don't want to make it necessarily scientific or throw some kind of scientific words out there. By the way, I'm just a random dude. I am a little bit maybe more a thinker, you might call, one of those weirdos who always locked in their own world and thinking about things, trying to make sense out of things. But I'm not a relationship counselor. I don't have any kind of fucking expertise necessarily. But I think, I guess often we all agree you don't have to be necessarily a PhD or spent years behind the desk in some kind of classroom to try to make sense out of things, especially when it comes to psychology. So that was one thing really I wanted to make this video about, and I'm really glad I watched this video tonight, um, and I hope really my audience, I really want it to be girls and women, because I think it's not thinking, it's really the truth of fact. I think the way that this society, especially American society, has been for me, as somebody who wants to play it fair and try to be nice, that is, you want to do the right thing in a relationship, you don't have too much place, because it's literally become a competition. It's not it's not a collaboration. It's not a teamwork. It's like, literally relationships become some kind of a competition. And if you're giving your opponent as who's the woman a chance, she's gonna have a chance to weigh you out up and down and try to arrive at a conclusion that, you know what, honestly, like, you're not any different than the rest, and you're just doesn't seem to be what I was always being taught by the society as the right guy, or as the Mr. Right, or the top-notch dude that they want me to look for, who has a nice house, a yacht, and all that shit. Anyways, you do get the message. But speaking of this lady, Azita Sayan, one thing that also, however, I wished, and it seems like it's fading out from everywhere in the world. Hollywood not only managed to change the American society, but also managed to change the world. One thing that's funny is that for me, sexual relationships wasn't necessarily just for exploring yourself and others and the fact that it was okay, but it was really the fact that basically part was more like maybe a journey of endurance, not endurance, I'm not using the right word, patience maybe, or there's a word for it, I'm sorry, I forgot. Self-containment maybe. And also the fact that you really want to wait for that special person, how much you have really in your mind establishing that ideal person, how much you really care for that person, and really trying to fulfill your mindset as fulfilling what is in your mind by nature, who's the right person for you, not by the measure of what society teaches you. Anyways, that's all for now. Take care of yourself. Bye.